I think some definitions of the open web are, very contingent on technical qualities. Things like, is it open source? Can you get at the source code? And that's certainly, I get that validity. And then there's people who talk about it in terms of things like open standards, which I think is getting closer to a real prerequisite for practice, in the sense, if somebody is doing something on the web over here and I'm over there, how easy is it for me to adopt the technology they're using and use it for my own purposes? I have, in some ways, an incredibly simple-minded and personal definition of the open web, which goes back to my introduction to it when I was teaching in the late 1990s. My first teaching job was in Mexico. It was at a fairly technologically advanced institution, but I had never taught before, and this thing called the internet was still relatively new back then in terms of teaching and learning. But what I realized back then was, because so many people back then were sharing what they were doing online, and back then most of what they were sharing used fairly readily available or low-cost technologies, that it was pretty easy to take what they were sharing. As a new teacher in a new country, it just absolutely shaped my experience of how I looked at education. And then not only that, I got to know people that were doing similar things all around the world, including people I still work with now. So Alan Levine was someone who taught me HTML back when I was in Mexico, although we didn't meet for another few years. It actually took me a year or two after I knew him to put that together. So I kind of just am always chasing that buzz, that ability to connect with people wherever they may be, and to draw on the work they're doing using this platform. So I'm looking for characteristics that identify those things, and I try to eliminate the things that create barriers to those things.